What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. We got HGA finally making an announcement. I'm a couple days late on this one, but I want to talk first before we get into what HGA posted, okay? And what they said. I want to talk a little bit about. I just recently did a video about HGA, my thoughts on it, and all that stuff. And a lot of the comments were, "Just admit it, you were wrong about HGA." Right? That was a reoccurring comment from a lot of you. And in order for me to be wrong about something, I have to make like a definitive statement of a definitive statement of fact, right? And I don't think I ever did that. I don't think I ever said HGA is the best. You shouldn't go to anybody other than HGA. I don't think I've ever done that in any of my videos where I'll just wholeheartedly say, you need to go use this company for this and don't use anybody else. And this is the greatest company and you shouldn't be using anybody. A lot of times what I do is I just do what I want to do and then just kind of show you guys what I'm doing and tell you why I do what I do. And what made me, try out certain companies and go to certain companies for certain things. And then just let you guys kind of decide. You're like, hey, listen, this is why I did it. If this is what you're looking for, then you should try this. So again, I'll just reiterate this and then I'll leave it be. But it's really up to you to decide what it is that you want to do with your cards and why you decide to go to certain places. And use folks such as myself and anybody else that you watch on YouTube to get an insight and an opinion so that you can have some information to formulate your own opinion. Okay. Now, that being said, I said a lot of stuff about HGA in that last video. You guys can go check that out. I'll link it up in the top and down below. But on New Year's Eve, on the 31st, HGA did put out they put out like a release, or I guess a press release or whatever, into 3, 4, 5 main points. You guys can go check them out. It's on their Facebook page. You can go check it out. So I read through the whole thing, right? And a lot of what I said in my previous video about HGA was kind of, in line with what's going on here. So the first thing, which is this one here, they recently took on a large investor who is an expert in lean manufacturing. Now, you guys have heard me talk about that here before. Lean manufacturing is basically just exactly like it sounds. It's leaning out your manufacturing force and making them much more efficient. And so that's what they've done. They took on an investor or a partner that is an expert in lean manufacturing to come in and help them make their process more efficient. Now, when your process becomes more efficient, you don't need as many people to do it. And that leads us to the next point where they talked about layoffs. And in this paragraph here, they talked a lot about how what they're doing in the lean manufacturing with their new partner has led to them not really needing a lot of people. And so they laid some people off. I think one of the things that they're not really talking about here is the fact that the card market is down. And so they really don't have as much going on as they did before. But at the same time, that's kind of you become more efficient, so you don't need as many people, and then also you ain't got as much work, so you don't need a whole lot of people either. But that's the best time to try to lean out your operation is when things are low, things are at a low point. So, those are the kind of things that in these types of press releases, you kind of got to read in between the lines, The other one was talking about submission levels and how they're still going to close out everything but the 60-day and then the turnaround times and all that stuff. One of the things that they mentioned in this point here was losing over half of their staff to, illnesses, coronavirus, flu, colds, all that good stuff, and that they were without over half of their staff for a little while. And I can sympathize with that because in my day-to-day job at work, we're going through the same thing, where we have all these manufacturing runs that we need to do, and we just don't have the people because everybody's, either out sick or, they have some symptoms. They may not have corona. As you can tell, I'm all gunky and junked up in my sinuses. So there's a little bit of that going on as well. I'm pretty sure some of the other grading companies are experiencing the same thing, but because they're on a much larger scale, probably doesn't affect them that bad. But HGA is still a small company, so when you lose over 60% of your workforce, that can always be tough. And that's probably doing a lot for their backlogs as well, or for the reason why they're backed up and they're behind as well. But the other thing was this fourth point that they made. And in this fourth point, they talked a lot about the labels, okay? And I've always felt like HGA's strongest thing that they had to offer the market was their custom labels. And in the back of my mind, I always felt like that was their biggest, their biggest consumption of their time and backlog. Because if you go in there and just pick a regular label, it's cool, but for $10 more, you can pick a really nice custom label. And that custom label, if you guys have ever had any experience with having a logo designed, or maybe those of you who have had a t-shirt designed for maybe for your company or for a family reunion or something like that, that the process of getting a graphic designed for you is pretty, it's pretty involved, right? You kind of tell the artist what you want. They'll send you a proof. You make some changes. They make the changes back. You give them some feedback. They make some changes. You get another proof. You go back and forth a little bit. And I've always felt like that process was, if you buy a card, a grade at a 10-day, if you purchase a 10-day sub with them with custom labels, well, the custom label alone is going to take you, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 business days alone. That alone, to get that right, is going to take that long. And another thing that HGA does is if you send them, if you send a card to get graded and you pick a label and it comes back and you don't like the label, they'll fix it for you for free. Like, you send them the card back, they'll redo the card, and then they'll send you the card back. That's going to be a huge chunk of their capacity as well, is grading cards that they're grading again, or labels that they're doing again, because they have to crack the thing open and they got to give so they're going to go through this process over and over again. And I've always felt like HGA was doing a lot of that work for free. And at the time, I'm like, man, that's pretty cool that they're doing that, because it is cool that they're doing that, right? But from a business standpoint and a manufacturing and process standpoint, that's got to be kicking them in the nuts. I've always thought that. And then this point, Tyler kind of talked a little bit about that, about how that is in fact been kicking them in the nuts. And so it was interesting for them to make those kinds of statements, talking about that. Horizontal slabs, I don't know what they're talking about here, where they said they're going to start them January 10th, and that somebody stole their design or something like that, and tried to patent it, but they already had it patented. I don't know. I thought this whole thing was kind of weird. But one of the things he said is that I have preached transparency, but there's been a lot of cases where transparency has truly hurt us. I can see that. In a perfect world, I can show you the upcoming changes and the new releases, but I have so many more issues that I've been waiting. Yada, yada, yada. So, I don't really too much care about the horizontal slab. I'm not too worried about it, but I thought that was interesting that he threw that in there, that somebody tried to steal their designs. Like, who would try to steal their designs? That's kind of weird. But anyway, as we come into the new year, and as you know, all these companies are setting all these goals and stuff like that. You know, SGC just did a post the other day where they said that they got some announcements coming for the new year. HGA is obviously trying to put themselves in a position to where they can be continue with their success this year, and maybe fix some of the issues that they got going on. I like this whole idea of them adopting some lean manufacturing principles and stuff like that. Hopefully that'll help them out. And then obviously PSA doing their New Year's resolutions and all that stuff going on. I want to hear from you guys, though. I want you guys to tell me in the comments, what are your expectations for this year from these grading companies, and who do you think is going to be the biggest winner going into 2022? I'm gonna do a separate video where I'll kind of do a recap on the year on how I feel like what's going on. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I would really appreciate that. Kind of get a dialogue going there. But I don't know. I think this little press release that HGA did is pretty good. It's good to hear from Tyler again. I know he kind of took a step back from the social media stuff. So he did reach back out to me about getting together again to do a video. We're gonna set that up sometime this year. I want to do it before we go off to before the Dallas Card Show. But either way it goes, I'll get in touch with him. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on over there. And now that he did this press release, I got, obviously a few more questions for him and stuff. But thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, like button, all that stuff. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Love y'all. Peace.